Why buy the new GT3 when this new Carrera T is just as fun and cheaper? That is not a clickbait title, I genuinely mean that. But if you want a Porsche 911 with a manual gearbox, which is not a GT car, then this is your only choice, and it's the new 992.2 Carrera T, and realistically it's the only 911 you'll ever need, because it's got a 911 badge, and this thing will cost you at least £111,000. However, if you want a 911 with a manual gearbox and a GT car, then that's going to cost you at least £46,000 more, which is the GT3. Is it worth it? Well, let's find out today. I'm Max Attavani. Welcome to Driven Plus. So where does the Carrera T fit in? Well, I see it as the most affordable 911 for enthusiasts who still want to experience a rear-wheel drive setup with a manual gearbox. So what's changed? Quite a lot, but for a non-car person, probably nothing. But you still get the same 3-litre flat 6 engine. So the old Carrera T produced 380 horsepower. This now produces 388 horsepower. However, torque has remained the same at 450 Newton meters of torque. This has also been fitted with new turbos from the GTS. Porsche, that increases efficiency. Porsche have given the 992.2 a new revised look from the rear as well. Now, there's not much difference compared to the first generation 992, but enough for you to know it has changed. The rear lights here, the Porsche badge has been integrated into them, and it's a lot more of a smoother design, and this has the upgraded rear lights as well. It's like a 700 quid option, and of course you can't miss this massive wing here, which makes this car stand out. And it's also got a new diffuser down here. Now, for the first time ever on the Carrera T, rear axle steering is now standard, which is a great feature. And you also get this manual gearbox sticker here, which the owner wants to take off. Brad, do not do that. Keep that sticker on. And when we come to the side of the vehicle, look at these side skirts down here. Carbon fibre. That's from Descent Automotive. They look fantastic. Now, the thing which I find quite weird are the colour of the wing mirror caps. It's like an orbit grey, and yes, you can get it paint matched, but the carbon fibre is not an option. I thought that would have been a nice option to match the roof. And when we come onto the wheels, they are a staggered setup, 20-inch on the front and 21-inch on the rear. And let's have a look what Porsche deliver their cars and what tyres. Pirelli P0s. I would have preferred Michelin, so maybe that's the way forward. Change to Michelin. And another thing on the Carrera T, you get bigger brakes. Now, on the first generation Carrera T, you get 330mm discs. On this one, 350. Better stopping force. Now, when we come on to the front design of this car, the biggest change Porsche have made are the deletion of the front indicators. So they've gone from the bumper into the headlights, and I like the fact the Porsche logo is illuminated in there. It's very, very nice. That then meant Porsche could redesign the whole front bumper, and it's not different to the naked eye, but there's a few changes there. So let's have a look if that changes any boot space. Well, according to Porsche, 3 more litres of boot space, totaling in at 135 litres. And of course, that's still small, but you've got the rear seats as well. So the owner of this car picked this car up about 2 weeks ago. I said, oh, okay, so we might not be able to do 0 to 60 time because you might need running in. So Brad told me, no, Porsche told him this car does not need running in. And this car's got 89 miles on the clock. And we're launching it. Great. So let's see what we're going to get. What have we got there? 4.95 seconds. I think we can get better, so let's go for one number 2. It did bog on first gear then, and I made a mistake. I didn't have the traction off. So let's see if that'll aid anything. No, it's bogged again. It's fast though. 4.63, we're getting faster. I do want to get 4.5, so let's go for a third run. Yes, 4.56. I'll tell you what, that manual gearbox is so easy to change. Those short throws really do come in handy there. I think the most impressive thing about this car is its weight. Now, you can spec this with carbon fibre bucket seats, which is an option, by the way. And if you do, that means it's 40 kilos lighter than the base Carrera. The weight of this car weighs less than 1.5 tonnes, and considering it's 2025, that's seriously impressive, and that's thanks to a few things. Carbon fibre roof, manual gearbox, lightweight glass, and it uses less sound deadening materials. Now when we come onto the interior of the car, there are more changes yet again. Now let's start with the seats. Now these are the adaptive sport seats plus, so they're comfort. They are 18-way adjustable, which are yeah, they do what they say on the tin. They are comfortable. However, you can obviously spec this car with carbon fibre bucket seats, and I might lean towards them more because this car has been centred around enthusiasts, but these are great for long journeys. So let's talk about what's changed. So starting with the ignition button, the traditional switch has gone, and now you just got a start-stop button. So let's turn that on, and in comes the new driver's digital display. And yes, it's got rid of that analog dial, but I quite like it, to be honest. And you can change the view, so if you don't like the rev counter, you can change it to, you got different, like the old traditional style. You've also got, when it does change, the map in the middle, and you can just have it to one sole map view. And yeah, I'm a fan of that, if I was to be honest. And the screen, the infotainment screen, is still the same size, 10.9 inch. Still got Apple CarPlay, and all the interior trim, the carbon fibre matte effect, that's really nice as well. And on top of the interior, you've got the Arctic Blue chronograph. That's an optional extra, which has been ticked, of course. And when we talk about the manual gearbox, the star of the show, look, that is just a piece of art finished off in the walnut wood, and it's great to hold as well. Now glove box, let's have a look in there. That's a great size, finished off in lovely velvet Alcantara in the middle. And then we come on to the glove box. So he's got Porsche embroidered on there, so that's a great attention to detail. And you've got a wireless charging pad with 2 USB-C sockets in the middle. And you've got your cup holder as well. Down here, 2 heated seats. What else can I say? And you've got the matte carbon fibre effect on the steering wheel as well, and that's Alcantara. It's lovely to feel, and it's heated as well. And you've got all your different driver modes, such as your wet, normal, sport, and sport plus. Right, so why would you buy one of these then? Well, if you're an enthusiast like me and can't afford the GT3, then this is the one. By the way, I can't even afford this either, but we're just going to imagine for today, okay? So it's lighter than the Carrera, it's got a proper mechanical rear differential, rear wheel steering, rear wheel drive, manual gearbox, and it sits lower to the ground. Let's see how that all combines. Ooh, this is it's very, very good. I like the short throws from gear to gear. That manual gearbox is very tight and precise. It's so engaging. But the only thing I will say is it's not mind-boggling fast. Don't get me wrong, it's probably not going to blow your socks off. It's fast enough. I'd say the word is balanced. But I would say the engine, when compared to a GT3, it sounds good, but you probably do lose a bit of drama that you get from the GT3. However, I don't care, because I've saved myself £46,000. That's a good enough compromise for me. And the thing is, you know, I was saying, well, this car really doesn't have much drama. That all changes when you put it in Sport Plus. Now the engine comes alive. Listen to that. What a car! And another thing is the steering. It's so agile, so nimble, so direct, which is what I should be telling you anyway, because it's a 911. Now this is a very bumpy road that I'm taking this car on here, and I have to say the suspension is so compliant. It's very, very good. It puts the power down so nicely, and the turning is fantastic because you've got rear wheel steering. It's not as sharp as the GT3. That's because it doesn't have double wishbone suspension, but it's still fantastic. So now we're cruising at around 25 miles per hour, and I'm going to put my foot down in second gear to see if we can experience any turbo lag and just get a sense of what that clutch feel is like. So here we go, second gear. Now the turbo comes in. There's a slight delay, but the clutch feel is just perfectly weighted. Porsche knows how to build a car. It puts a smile on your face, this thing. This is ace. And a manual gearbox is the only option for the new Carrera T. And what Porsche did was take the old 7-speed manual box and deleted 7th gear and put it in this. And I'm pretty sure this uses the linkages from the GT3 as well. It's probably why it's so precise. And to be honest, I'm not really bothered whether it's got 7th or 6 gears. Aesthetically, I prefer the look of a 6-speed manual gear knob, because I'm that kind of guy who prefers the TV volume to be on an even number. And I like how this car is as well, because there's less sound deadening in. You've got more noises coming from the gears, the engine. There's a lot more noises going on, and it feels more mechanical. It feels more raw, and it actually reminds me of my BMW M4 CS. So this is a me type of car. And yes, you can go and buy faster, much faster Porsche 911s, such as the Turbo S. But the thing is about this car, it's just fun. It makes you feel alive, and that's what I like about it. And this might be the last pure 911 with a manual gearbox which we'll experience, which is a non-GT car. That's sad. The Carrera T makes a lot of sense, and for a 911 it's relatively affordable. It's engaging, lightweight, and probably the last of its kind. Don't get me wrong, I love an automatic gearbox, especially the ones you can find in the 911, such as the PDK. The changes are electric. However though, when you experience a manual gearbox, it reminds you how connected you can feel to a car. And your brain's thinking all the time when to change gear, when to depress the clutch, you know, all that sort of stuff going on. And it takes you to a world where it's just you and machine going at it to provide pure satisfaction. This is an absolute brilliant car. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And there's so many 911s to go and buy and choose from, but it's quite nice knowing the fact that you don't have to spend a silly amount of money in the 911 world to experience a pure car that's not a GT product. And that's what I really like about this car. And I've driven a GT3, a manual version as well. And I'm sat here thinking now, what more do you need than this? I mean, 9,000 RPM is a bit of a selling point. This only revs to 7,500, so you're not far off. Yeah, and the sound is a selling point, and the handling. But no, in all honesty, this Carrera T is a fantastic package, and you will not be disappointed. It provides you with as much fun that a GT3 would, less the sound and handling. So what's my conclusion on this car? Well, it's a bit like a mini manual GT3, and if you can't afford the GT3 and you want a manual 911, then this is a brilliant solution. You're going to have loads of fun, and I'd recommend you to buy one. But I'd like to say a massive thanks to Brad for letting me get behind the wheel of this brand new 992.2 Carrera T. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more content. Anyway, thanks guys, bye bye.